Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, you can reach us at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Well, hey, everybody, this is Attilio, and this is that part of the show where I bring you something brilliant. Here's the thing that, or I don't want to say brilliant, it's kind of braggadocious, maybe just something useful. What we do know is that, I'm going to speak to the people that I'll start with a quote: Be kind, for everyone is going through a great battle. And what that typically means is that the uh, when you're fun facing with people, Adrienne, when you meet people for the first time or you're dialoguing with them, and you had some stuff to share too, right? I see you got a book.
I do.
Okay, hold that thought. So, when you're meeting with people, or people like even if it's just in a casual environment, or like strangers, or even with family, are they just coming up to you and going, "Oh," some people do this, and I will tell you, stop it. We'll be like, "Oh man, you wouldn't believe the day I'm having," and then it's just this whole huge list of the things that
Are going wrong.
are going wrong in your life. So, Adrienne, did you ever have any of those days like that? And we don't want to know about the particulars because we're not here to like share the negativity.
Everyone has those days.
Yeah.
Everyone
And then
does.
do you come across people that are like, you wouldn't believe the day that I have, and then like, but it's like those people have this habit of like every single time, you wouldn't believe the day that I had. So if you're one of those people that when you come into a new environment or a bunch of people and you're like, you wouldn't believe the day that I have, and you start going through the laundry list of all your problems, I am going to be telling you what that person receiving that information right now is thinking. You know what they're thinking?
What?
I wish I had could stick an ice pick in my eyeball right now and get out of here. And then you know what they're thinking right after? That's 20 minutes of my life I'm not getting back. So tip number one, everybody's got some challenges and this and that. And I'm not saying hold it all in and then explode and go up someplace high and start shooting people. No, do other things that are more healthy for you personally and the people around you, which is like go exercise, go work out, go meditate, go journal, go see a therapist, which is a professional lister. But the number one thing I would tell you is don't be a dumper. Don't be a dumper. Don't be dumping on people. Oh, you wouldn't believe my day. And it's sounding like the beginning of a Frank DeLima skit.
Well, I have a
talking about his Auntie Mary.
I've got a solution for the dumpers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share a quote. This is from Unknown. Train your mind.
You know, I think this unknown person is brilliant because this person has a lot of quotes.
Train your mind to see the good in every situation.
Uh-huh.
And I would say that too. It's like even when you're having a tough time, you got to look like where is the growth opportunity? Where is the opportunity to learn and grow from the situation?
What do I need to learn from this situation?
So always strive to find the positive aspects in every situation, no matter how challenging it may seem.
Yeah.
You got to look for the silver linings and opportunity for growth, as every experience holds the potential to teach us something valuable.
Yeah.
Embracing a mindset that seeks out the good can transform our perspective and enhance our overall well-being.
Yeah. You know, I was what's her name? Mel Robbins was on a podcast. I follow her on LinkedIn. Anyway, she was interviewing somebody that was like a behavior psychologist, and she was talking about Mary Poppins. You know, like to have them swallow the medicine, you give them a spoonful of sugar, and what we need. And then she just referred to like about a reframing.
Yes,
there are going to be days, and you're gonna. I think that's probably a phrase out of a song. There are going to be days like this. Oh yeah, my mama told me there's going to be days like this, and what you got to say to yourself, because the spiral down is if it's not one thing, it's another. Who here has been guilty of thinking or saying that? Everyone. If it's not one thing or another, it's like, geez, can something else happen? And so what you got to do to reframe that, to not continue the downward spiral, is immediately think, what are you grateful for? What opportunities have come to you in that moment? What are you learning from this? And then it's the mindset that you got to take back control over in a positive way to keep you moving forward. because you think like you're like a problem magnet. No, it's just the mindset has you focusing and looking for those things, and then they start happening to you, and you putting yourself in those positions. But
Yes, look for the good in
every,
everything.
you know what, everything's
Yes.
going to be okay. I did a LinkedIn post. Everything's going to be okay, and
Mm-hmm.
not going to give you some wackadoodle affirmation to say, because it's like when you go down, what's between great and terrible is okay. So you got to get to okay. So that's why it's not like some affirmation that, hey, like you had two flat tires all at the same time, and you're like, everything's going to be awesome. No, you just say everything's going to be okay, because you're going to fix the flat tires. You're going to get that done. And then, you're going to get your car back and you'll be on your way, and hey, it's all good.
Speaking of things that are all good, I
Yeah.
have a review to share from Clay.
Okay.
And this one is for Alicia. So Alicia with Team Lally was outstanding. Alicia and her team went above and beyond helping me sell my home in Hawaii. She made the process easy and seamless. She had every contact I needed and kept me informed throughout the process. Her expertise and guidance were on point.
Yeah. One of the topics.
Good job, Alicia.
Yeah, good job, Alicia. One of the topics I want to talk about right now just came to my mind because of we've been getting this a lot. If you're in a condo, townhome, and then some of the CPR homes, there's this thing called maintenance fees.
Mm-hmm.
And we're finding that across the board, and this is not just a Hawaii thing, this is a nationwide thing. That's what's happening is these maintenance fees, usually they will go up like no change, 2%, 3%, but they're
Just
going
a little
up
bit, yeah.
just a tiny kind, small kind. We're finding is these things are doubling and tripling, and people are getting all stressed out because it's like your mortgage payment stays the same, but then your maintenance fees keeps going up. Now, I'm not talking about association fees, because you have maintenance fees, which are for things like insurance. What else?
Anything on the exterior, like the roof, just exterior maintenance, common area
maintenance.
If there's any kind of private roads or like a community pool, those kind of things.
And some of the maintenance would be like in condos. I will tell you, if you're in a condo, I read this out of the trade magazine for facilities management. I don't know why I was looking at that magazine. I was just trying to read into it and see what was in there. But the article that caught my attention, I still remember, it's like 10 years ago. And we have these buildings. So a building that's 50 years old today, Adrienne, would have been built when?
Oh, it would be like in the early 70s.
In the early 70s. So anything like 50s and 60s, which we do have quite a few of those buildings in Waikiki, Honolulu area, that if the building is more than 50 years old, one of these four areas is going to either have to be budgeted for, or the association is going to have to get a loan for, because they're going to have to get this taken care of, or maybe all of it. Those four main things are going to be the elevator. The other thing is going to be plumbing. The other thing could be electrical. And then the last one is going to be spalding. And I don't mean the basketball. What I mean by spalding is that if you have concrete, there's rebar in it to reinforce the structure, and that concrete is porous, and over time, we don't think of it as porous because you touch it, you feel it is pretty solid, but it's porous, and over time, oxidation starts occurring with that rebar in the concrete, and when you see metal rusting, it expands and it starts cracking the concrete. So it's big money. You got to bring in companies that'll dig all that stuff up and treat that rebar and resurface everything and then repaint. And then some of the older buildings too are having to do fire safety upgrades because code has changed from 50 years ago. And so they got to budget or borrow. And so what we're looking at is that we just came across this recently and we're going to do more research on it. But if there's a pending assessment and they don't know what that amount is, a lot of the lenders won't lend in that building. And
there's uncertainty, like how much are the maintenance fees going to go up? What will the special assessment be? There's just too many unknowns. In order to just get a traditional loan.
And typically the assessments when they come out, like let's say it's $10,000 per occupant because we're going to do all this work and we need to pay for it. So what they do is they'll get the loan, but then they'll do the assessment to pay back the loan so they can take that off the budget. And typically they're hiring third parties like Hawaiian Property Certified, all of those big companies that manage a lot of
The
associations,
Yep.
and they're doing, kind of like a budget analysis and seeing what they're supposed to be saying for. So you have what your actual expenses were for the year, and then you have what was budgeted for, and if it's on track. And then there's going to be like projections for future projects. Are we putting aside enough money for it? So we're going to have like bigger maintenance fees now or an assessment later or a combination of that. So something to be aware of. And that's just one aspect of buying a townhome or a condo. And then we're even seeing single family homes. We're seeing single family homes with what? $900 maintenance
Yeah,
fee?
those
That's
would
like
be
crazy.
like the CPR single family homes.
Yeah.
We have seen those like have a big rise, and I think the reason behind that is just the insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the master plan insurance, which covers the whole complex and everything else. And what's happening is with the Lahaina fires, more home locally, and then you got the LA fires, and then all those hurricanes that hit Florida, the East Coast and everything. So all of those payouts done by the insurance companies is causing them to raise rates, and or even leave states and not even do insurance in certain states.
Down to those maintenance fees because
the insurance is higher.
Yeah, and then what that means to the owners or even the future buyers is that it puts downward pressure on the values.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing across the board. We're seeing like these maintenance fees that have doubled and tripled. Then now the values of the homes are being pushed down.
Yeah.
The downward pressure on them.
Okay. Well, do you want to take a break here?
Yes.
And
all right. So we are going to take a break, but stay with us. When we come back, we're joined by award-winning architect Kennon. Kevin is going to explain why sustainable design is the new currency in Hawaii real estate and how zero carbon buildings are driving serious ROI for local investors and homeowners. So don't go anywhere.
Stay with us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here, talking with the only real estate agent in your market I recommend. Adrienne Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. Now more than ever, buyers and sellers need an expert to navigate this ever-changing market. And what do you do to stand out?
Hey, Sean, we are a team with over 500 plus 4.9 star reviews, over 1,600 transactions under belt, and 20 years in the business. It's going to take a lot of resources to get a home sold today.
What kind of programs do you offer?
Sean, we offer the guaranteed sale, instant offer close in 12 days, 10K for upgrades, love it or leave it, no hassle listing. No matter what situation the client is in, we've got solutions.
Great update. Thank you for keeping us informed. Put the most experience and the best marketing to work for you. Call Team Lally now at 799-9596 or online at teamlally.com. That's teamlally.com.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home in a guaranteed sold program, or we'll buy it. I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
And if you have any questions, you can reach us at 799-9596 or check us out at teamlally.com.
Our guest today is an award-winning architect and the founder of Beyond Zero DDC with 40 years of experience in zero carbon luxury and adaptive reuse. In a market like Hawaii, his expertise is more critical than ever. He's here to discuss how green certifications and urban resilience are directly impacting property values across Oahu, Maui, and Honolulu. Rather than just focusing on aesthetics, he specializes in sustainable strategies that offer tangible returns for investors and policymakers alike. Please welcome the founder of Beyond Zero DDC, Kennon.
Aloha, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
And thank you for joining us.
Hi, how are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're excited to hear all that you know, and you're going to teach us as well as our listeners.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
right.
we got some questions for you, Kevin. You ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, well, I was like, I ripped this off from other people doing radio shows and podcasts. Where do we find you? Where are you located in the world right now?
Right now, I'm in a very cold place
Uh-huh.
in New York City.
New York City.
Yeah, that's my headquarters. That's where I reside. And
Nice.
do my work
Yeah.
out of here, all around the world.
Yes.
From New York.
Well, that's where you put your head down on your pillow And
It's an airport.
yeah,
You know.
that's it. I always tell people with global transportation, we don't really live anywhere. We live everywhere. It's just where do we bring our suitcases back to? But yeah.
I personally, I think Hawaii is the center of the universe.
There you go.
Of course.
Well, I think it's like the one landmass that's equally distant, has more water surrounding it, and in the dead center of an ocean than any other landmass on the planet. So we're happy for that. And anyway, it's beautiful, and you got to come and visit and promise when you're on island that we can take you for a margarita on the beach or something.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's one of my favorite places to go. I grew up in Southern California, so
nice.
A lot of people I knew had a second home in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Anyway, so spent my youth.
Okay.
Still spent youth in Hawaii.
Nice.
All right, Kevin, we have a few questions for you.
Sure.
All right, so you call sustainability the new currency in real estate. So how does a zero carbon footprint actually translate into higher property value right here in Hawaii?
Well, that's an excellent question. And it would take the entirety of your show to answer it properly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can give you a soundbite of that.
Sure.
Certainly because there are challenges, but I want to be very specific about what we do, because it's a very niche sort of development focus. So we focus on wilderness hotels and resorts.
Mm-hmm.
So that means we really try to put, in this case, a luxury hotel on the edge of the world, wherever that might be.
Okay.
And so within those constraints, anytime you get really on the edge of something, you have challenges about how do you bring power, how do you, where do you get the water, fundamental existential challenges, which, at this case, the more deployable, or portable ways of creating energy are all of them alternative energy. So that's basically, we kind of back into it just by our focus. Not necessarily that was our mission going into this.
But it was a need that you had to fulfill with the environments that you guys are building in. And I'm sure you're want to be aware of that environment and have the least amount of impact on it too.
Oh, I think if anything, what we do is take a conservation first approach to what we do.
Yeah.
We're really looking at large tracts of land, of which, I think upwards to only 15% of it would be occupiable in some way, and the rest we just conserve it. Even when we build with what we call a very light footprint. Most of the damage done to our sites are when we grade roads and build plateaus and try to sink heavy foundations into that.
Yeah.
It's very unforgiving.
Yes.
And it causes a lot of problems.
I had one request for you these builders and designers out there for these types of resorts. In this day and age, in our modern age, we are the biggest piece of in my opinion, the main piece of technology that's creating disconnection and distracting us from being present is that phone. And so I had an idea, I would go to a luxury resort in a wilderness area like that, specifically that had no cell service.
I'm glad you really brought that up, because I've designed enough. I've done design buildings all over the world.
Yeah.
Won lots of awards, but I always approach everything I do with a very local focus. I don't think you can't really. Real estate itself is always local. Because it deals with actual buildings and real products. That's one of the reasons people like investing in it, because you're not, these are not intangible investments, they're real.
Yeah.
So there's always practical issues that you have to deal with, but to do them in a kind of imaginative way, I think that's really one of the things that we're seeing. And what's really great right now is that there is a lot of incredible technology that's coming out within the sort of sustainable area,
Uh-huh.
alternative energy in particular. A lot of them having to do with very hyper localized conditions, where
Mm-hmm.
you might not need, 20 megawatts, or something, but you might need 5.
Yes.
How do you do that in a way that is consistent with our sort of conservation first philosophy? That's a challenge, but
Yeah.
there's incredible opportunities out there, and we see ourselves as being, not only at the forefront of a kind of new way of travel and experience, which is all about resetting ourselves
Yes.
and using travel as a means to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
the point that you just brought up is
Yeah.
a great example.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and so we're excited about our technology development here and creating really interesting partnerships and platforms for people to come in and really test out their technology in
Mm-hmm.
our kind of living laboratory of luxury resort. If that sounds like almost an oxymoron, maybe it is, but
Well,
it does kind of illustrate our embrace. This is not just simply it's just another kind of eco resort. This is actually something that's doing
And Kevin,
incredible work.
in what areas have you had successful projects already, or do you have any areas that you're currently in process? I think that would be exciting to learn about.
yeah, give us some examples.
Yeah. No, well, so I again, I don't know why or how I was able to have this particular life, but I've been able to design lots of different types of buildings. Everything from very tall skyscrapers to very small museums. Just that are just designed around 2 pieces of Rodin sculpture, and so everything kind of in between, and schools and museums and the auction house. I designed Sotheby's World Headquarters here in New York City.
Oh, cool.
And
Nice.
I've had a lot of experience with working with Macy's and Bloomingdale's over the years, and so I know a lot about retail and shopping and hotels and travel and anyway. So it's all kind of something that and then I grew up in Southern California, and my existence in Southern California was doing a lot of sort of as people do in places like Hawaii and Southern California. The nature is really more exciting than anything else.
Yes.
And to have that experience growing up, where I spent a good chunk of my time out in the wilderness somewhere, and then to find myself now, kind of at a more advanced part of my career, going back to the things that used to excite me when I was a kid.
Yeah, but yeah, when you're in the beginning part, you're talking about sustainability and building these resorts in remote locations. I was thinking of when we stayed in Costa Rica, and we would get up every morning and drink coffee on the back deck, and there was just the rainforest was out there, and we would just see every imaginable kind of
animal, like birds, like that. What was that weird thing?
It looked like a giant hamster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a name
but
for it.
Isn't that incredible? Like when you travel like that, and you maybe don't fully know what you're getting yourself into, but that's part of the excitement, that, and then you come back with incredible insight that you gain just a result of the fact, if nothing else, that you're just changing what you've been doing on a daily basis. We have to get out of ourselves. And I'm a full advocate of getting back to nature.
Yes.
In ways that are safe and smart.
Okay. Well, speaking of nature, so most people, here's another question we got from y'all is, most people think green is just an added cost. Where is the actual ROI for an investor or developer if they're going to be incorporating that into their project, going green?
Just to reiterate, I've been involved in enough development to know that all development's local. So it really does depend on, and by that I mean it's not just only the location, but the specifics of what your project is trying to do.
Yeah.
So in certain contexts, it pays off because in our case, we're attracting a certain clientele, which we've done a lot of analysis as to who those people are and what motivates them So if you come from anything from that sort of perspective, it's going to lead you where you need to go.
Yeah.
And that's going to pencil out because, that's just a prerequisite of having to do business in that's consistent with your model.
Gotcha. Adrienne, want to ask about the local impact?
Oh yeah, so
we kind of talked about a little bit, but
so with the high cost that we have here in the islands, how does the adaptive reuse help a project move faster or more affordably than just building new?
Yeah. Well, it's the unfortunately my experience, and I have a lot of experience with adaptive reuse, and in a place like New York City, where I think a lot of people can imagine, you take an old factory, you turn it into apartments or something. And that seems like, okay, I get that. It's been around for a while. It obviously has good bones. So somehow the thinking behind doing what we call like a value add development, where you sort of come in and reimagine what it could be. That becomes, when you get to places like the West Coast and then also Hawaii, where you were building as much with not necessarily to lock everything down on the ground, but knowing that if worst comes to worst and your house got blown away, you could rebuild it. So you had a kind of regenerative kind of attitude towards building and land that's quite different than obviously what's going on here.
Yes.
But I am a huge advocate that, before you do any kind of building, if there's something already there and you think that you can repurpose it, and that that you might even benefit from it. Certainly a lot of cities, have zoning regulations in their book in which you might be able to get a bonus FAR or something out of it. Then it makes a lot of sense.
One of the examples that I liked and saw was I know the company Patagonia. They make all the outdoor. But they came to downtown Honolulu and took over a building that was built in the 50s, big long rectangular building. And then I was like, wow, who's restoring that building? Because I thought they got to have money and they have to have maybe a corporate mission that's in alignment with doing that, as opposed to bulldozing it. And as you know, Patagonia is, if you buy something from there and get them on their mailing list, they're going to be sending you all kind of stuff about the environment and activism and things like that. But I love the fact, for me as a consumer, because let's be real, you're not, when you go and buy the clothing there, it's not the stuff you get at Ross. It's going to be a premium price and it's good quality material. But I guess what attracted me to it is that they did adaptive reuse. They came in and you took a building that was from the 50s and it was a whole bunch of connected offices, and then blew out the whole interior space. And then they used as much of that existing building as possible. And I thought that was perfectly in alignment with what their mission is to, enjoy the outdoor while minimizing their impact on the environment as a corporation. And they didn't just put lip service to it. They did it. I was telling you about Patagonia, how they redid that building in Honolulu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. An old building from the 50s. So that's an example of adaptive reuse.
Yes, right.
Yeah, well,
right,
and also,
Honolulu.
There's a lot of amazing buildings in Hawaii that have been there for quite a while. And some of them, of course, are, they have some cultural value, and which is really, I think, one of the major arguments for doing that.
Yeah.
But one of the things I hear a lot, and it's not necessarily true in my experience. My experience is usually it costs more to do adaptive reuse than just to do a ground up, kind of building. And it mainly has to do with, you have to always deal with some sort of existing conditions, and a lot of times unforeseen conditions, with an existing building that you can just sort of schedule away and plan your stack, to coincide with your building, and you can sort of fine tune your whole scheduling process so that you can minimize your risk in terms of going over schedule or budget. That's tough to do in adaptive reuse.
Yeah. So there's obviously they were making more of maybe a message to the consumer more so than it was kind of like not a good business decision, but maybe it was a good business decision because now all the clients are like, wow, I feel good about going to Patagonia because they're taking care of our community. So I'm going to go over there and give my vote of confidence for that business by buying products from them. You got this question, Adrienne.
Yep. So Kevin, there are dozens of certifications out there. Which ones actually move the needle for financing and which ones are just for show?
That's a really good one. Yeah, I mean, that we do have a plethora of that. I think it runs the gamut. There's certain just compliance that corporations can do and construction can do. That's self-certifying certain things that may not necessarily have a direct, tangible benefit, but overall, I think if it signals a sort of for you, gives a certain security to your investors, that you're kind of doing things in an orderly way and that you're kind of looking ahead about what would be sort of proper certifications. I think we're kind of, I would say one thing, I believe our profession is starting to move away from just kind of checking off the boxes. That's come under a lot of criticism for people who are really looking, at true sustainability and people don't even. I hate to use the word sustainable because what are we sustaining? I think we should be really looking more at regenerative, which is a much more sort of positive sort of aspect, less kind of prescriptive kind of focus, and more like, hey, here are the benefits, of actually. Looking at multiple ways of solving problems, not just we're going to build it and we did everything that we were supposed to do and we get a little prize to put on our building. It really needs to be much more. What are the values of the community? What are we getting this? How are we bringing it back? How is this enhancing?
Yes.
What's the building going to be like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Who's it going to benefit? All those are sort of more profound questions, but I think it's something that we need to start taking a certain kind of responsibility towards, and establishing the sort of, I hate to use this word because it sounds very highfalutin, but provenance of our culture. That basically there's a embedded culture that's local, and that's great. That's what we want in the world. I don't want Hawaii to be like Rhode Island.
Yes.
So,
Hawaiian.
Never will be.
Hawaiian Airlines was really good about incorporating the culture into their corporate their planes. They have traditional designs on them and Hawaiian names and things like that, and so and they go through a whole cultural process before they bring one of the jets online. So it was a great way that maybe it was because of the fact it's called Hawaiian Airlines that would be a good idea to do that. We time flies when we're having such interesting conversation. I think you've been kind of weaving a little bit of threads into this next question already, which is for a listener looking to future-proof their next project, what's the very first thing they should change in their plan today? Future-proof. Well, unpack that for us. Future-proof, what does that mean?
Well, of course, maybe it's because of where I grew up, but my first thinking is fire, and I think that's on a lot of people's mind, and it's something that we have spent a lot of time thinking about as well. Fortunately that there are some amazing materials, and believe it or not, one of the most amazing materials is something called cross laminated timber. So it's material that's readily available and obviously sustainable, but it's essentially fireproof. So I'm not, and there are things that you have to do in addition to that. I'm a big believer, is doing as much as you can for taking care of sparks, that are sort of going through the air, and,
Yes.
and where they land. And so, I think the thinking now is some metal type surfaces, and,
Yeah.
that can essentially dissipate that.
Kevin, how long has this material been around for, and how long have people been building with that?
It's been there. I think that it seems, this is what's so incredible is that, especially with cross laminated timber, it sounds counterintuitive,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really a remarkable thing, because now you can still have a kind of a lot of the buildings that are being done with cross laminated timber. There's not high-rise buildings. Most of the maximum height I think that we've got is around 10, 12 feet, something like that.
Yeah.
But where you see it and installed, they're really extraordinary buildings because they have a wood feel on the interior.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to come back and put like drywall on it, or
Sure.
stucco or wallpaper.
I would
It's already
imagine
wood.
that would
Yeah.
affect the insurance, right? Insurance companies would love this kind of building material, so it would bring those
Yeah.
insurance rates down.
Bring the risk
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, and we were actually
Right.
talking about that earlier in our show, just like how that's
Yeah.
increased
Maybe-
the maintenance fees, and just because the insurance has gone way up.
Maybe that could be relevant today for the
Yes.
people rebuilding in Lahaina, which
Mhm.
had unfortunately all those
Yeah,
fires.
exactly, and especially Lahaina, I know pretty well.
Yeah.
There's a kind of premium already on sort of, lack of a better term, sort of tropical type architecture,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and with a lot of wood,
Mhm.
in the building. It's,
Yes.
where I grew up, all the houses were all made out of wood.
Hmm.
So it's I like that aesthetically. I think people like living in wood environments.
Now, Kevin, with this particular type of wood, do termites like this wood, or do they not like
yeah,
it?
it does that. It's great for
So-
it's particularly good at pest resistance as
So
well.
termites
Nice.
don't like
So-
it. It's fire resistant. So
Yeah.
people need to learn more about it and
Yeah.
plan ahead
And
and utilize this kind of material.
As a material, yeah, for building.
This is
yeah,
this is
and
great.
it really is. It's really, a lot of them are really small sort of pieces of
Mhm.
wood that are just laminated together in a certain way. And so what's nice is that it's pretty easy to export the technology anywhere, as long as there's wood being used in building.
Yeah, I think that might work in Lahaina because they have a lot of. They wanted to
Well, I would-
bring back the historic feel.
I would say
Any
it
last
would-
questions
it would
for
work-
Kevin?
I would say that it would work anywhere because especially like with the insurance going up,
Yeah.
and the fires and everything. So anyone, it would work well for anyone. But yeah.
Well, time flies when we're having great conversation. Any other topics or questions that you want to cover that we haven't before we let you get back to your day?
Well, I'll tell your viewers, I have a great design for a house. Anybody who's
There you
who's
go.
looking for a very, forward-looking design that I think puts your
Would work well in
personal
Hawaii.
regeneration,
Yeah.
front and forward.
You never know who's listening. Maybe Oprah might be listening, and she needs a couple places on all that land she owns on Maui.
Yes.
Oprah, if you want to get a hold of Kevin Keenan,
Just contact us. We'll make
we'll put
the
you in touch
connection.
with Kevin
Yeah.
Keenan.
That'd be great.
And do you have a website or any contact info you want to put out here?
Yeah, I mean the easiest way to is just Google me.
Okay.
Actually, there's only one.
Okay.
So
And your
if
last
you just
name is
spell my
spelled-
name correctly, Kevin Kennon, Google me, and,
Kennon
I'll
is the
be-
last name.
I'll be
Yeah.
the first one. There are
Architect.
I think one or two Kevin Kennons, but
But
yeah,
only
Yes.
one architect. There
It's
we
just-
go.
Well, thank you.
anyway,
Thank
and
you.
I'm very easy to reach.
Yes.
So you can DM me, you can send me an email,
Yeah.
you can call me.
Carrier pigeon.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kevin. We enjoyed getting to know you and a little bit more about all the great things that you are
Yeah.
building in the world.
And thank you for
I'm
taking
feeling
the
warmer
time.
already.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time for being on the
Yes.
show, and we
Thank you.
wish you the rest of your day. I know you're back east, so not too much left of that, but thank you so much for being on the show.
All right. Aloha.
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 All right. So next up, we are gonna talk about our open houses. We have quite a few this weekend. Well, we have one on Saturday that has a new price, a new and reduced price.
Yep, that new price is $650,000. I'll do this when you do the next one. Saturday, January 17th. It's 2 to 5 p.m. This one is going to be at 95312 Kahikinui Court. This is going to be Unit 213 in Mililani. And this is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,520 square feet, rare, low maintenance fees.
Nice.
Low maintenance fees. We're just talking about that with a private yard backing a park. Ooh.
Okay, and now
on to Sunday.
Now there's 6 open houses here.
What?
Yes, and they're all over the island between Eva Beach, Mililani, Hauula, where else? Kaava. Like they're all over. All over the place.
If you're like a tourist on a Circle Island tour, you're probably going to see all our open houses on Sunday.
All right, so
the tourists will be prepared. Tourist agents, our tourists may be stopping into your open houses. Have some fresh pineapple for them.
All right, this one is in Hoakale. It's in the gated community, 911526 Kaikohola Street, Unit D1, and it's listed at 1350. It is an excellent price. It's like one of the lowest there in the neighborhood, right there on the golf course. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, a little over 2,000 square feet, and 26 owned solar panels.
The next one is 51636 Kamehameha Highway Unit. The number is 4413. This is going to be in Ka'aava. Again, remember, if this city is on Wheel of Fortune, you're going to spend a lot of money on vowels, the letter A. It's $485,000. That's pretty good. And I've seen these this complex. It's right by Crouching Lion, and you're literally all of these units. The ocean is right there. It's really beautiful. 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 750 square feet. These don't really come up for sale that often. VA assumable loan. And I just want to let you know, you don't have to be a paramilitary or active duty. You don't have to be a military person to assume a VA loan. Anyone can. 3.5% with mountain and ocean views. I said it. Yes, mountain and ocean views. What's number 3?
Next one, we're going over to Hauula. This one is on 53898 Kamehameha Highway, 1295. 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, a little over 1,600 square feet, just steps from the ocean. Plus, for a limited time, there's a $2,000 buyer credit towards closing costs.
And then our next open house is going to be in, this one is in Mililani. I think it was in the 80s, voted one of America's favorite towns. And I don't know, it says so on the sign. It's 95-510 Wakau Street, Unit D as in Delta 202 in Mililani, $540,000. This is a 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 782 square feet, VA assumable loan at, got a lot of these. Another low one, 4.25% with a rare opportunity in Launani Valley and 2 dedicated parking stalls.
All right, this next one is at the Coronado condos here in Eva Beach. This one is a short sale, listed at $425,000. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 710 square feet.
Yeah.
There is a private lanai, 2 assigned parking stalls. There's also a nice little community pool. It's a great location within Eva Beach. Great price, great, just really awesome starter home.
Yeah. And the last one, this one's in Eva Beach also, 91-1019 Kai Uhu Street, Eva Beach, $1,260,000. This is a 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2,500 square feet Ocean Point home with the first floor bedroom, both ocean view primary suite balcony, and 14 owned solar panels for energy efficiency and island living. Every time you come home, the panels are looking at you and they're like, we're owning you, homeowner.
This one's kind of tucked away towards the edge of Ocean Point, and there's a nice big green space in the front. It's a great opportunity. I love this price.
Yep.
All
so
right.
Here's something.
Those are the open houses for the weekend.
Here's your listeners. Here's your takeaway from all these open houses that we've read back to you. A lot of times, an interesting statistic from the NAR, National Association of Realtors, we've got about 1 million members, and 700,000, it just came out with the stats, 700,000 of them sold 0 homes.
Wow.
So 70% of our industry last year in 2025 sold 0. We did like 80?
88.
We did like 88.
We helped 88 families. Yeah.
We helped 88 families, so that says a lot. And then probably on this year, we're probably going to be on track for 200. I'm just speaking it.
Yes, because we have awesome new team members, and we are still looking for more.
By the way, we just had an awesome career night, and we're going to be having them every other month. So if we had one in January, that means the next one is
in
March.
The first Monday in March, HawaiiCareerNight.com. You can go get signed up, go RSVP. If you don't want to wait, just go to jointeamlally.com and start the process with us.
You know, a lot of times for the agents out there, because we know agents listen to our show, we're proud of that. We're happy to help income from contribution and give you guys tips too, is that you can be the right driver in the wrong vehicle. I'll say that one more time, the right driver in the right vehicle. Wrong vehicle.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is, like, you can have excellent driving skills. And by the way, I'm doing the audio version of all my LinkedIn posts. If you want to see these LinkedIn posts and my AI generated funny images that I come up with, and some glimpses into my personal life, because I'm not on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, or any of that stuff. I'm just on LinkedIn. It's me, not my staff. It's me that's on there. And I have the image I created for this right driver, right wrong vehicle was a 1983 rusty Toyota Corolla next to an F1 race car. So no matter how good you are as a driver, if I'm in the Formula One race car and you're in the 83 Toyota Corolla with the muffler falling off, no matter how, even if you're a better driver than me, because you're in the wrong vehicle, I'm always going to win the race. And so if you're a buyer or seller out there, I'm telling you, you want to have the right driver in the right vehicle.
And if you're an agent, you want to be in the right vehicle to ensure the highest probability of success. Now, if you're an agent and you decide, maybe this is not the industry for me, you know what? We have a solution for you for that too.
Yeah.
We've opened up, there's a brokerage called HawaiiReferralAgent.com. And, just head on over there, check it out, and we can put your license
It's a way to hang your license, save probably about $2,500 in renewal fees. Send us all your friends and families. We have a high potential of helping them in their situation, and 100% guarantee of giving them a high level of service. And all you got to do is to check out that opportunity for yourself. Go to HawaiiReferralAgent.com, HawaiiReferralAgent.com. Let's talk about the SURF report in real estate, which is the median sale price for a single family home versus a condo. What we got? What is the SURF report for median sale price for single family homes?
Yep. And then this is for December. So here we are on the
We're in January. We're going to talk about December.
So 1.1, and it's kind of been around that amount all year long. So 1.1 median sale price. But here's the interesting thing that's happened. 18% growth as far as the amount of home sales year over year. So from December last year to this year, there's 18% more single family homes that actually sold. So that's good news.
And for the SURF report for median sale price for condos, $512,000. By the way, when we say condos, it's condos/townhomes, condos/townhomes. I had somebody ask me, what's the difference between a condo and a townhome? And a condo, we're going to think of high rises, something with an elevator, and then townhomes, we're going to think more of a low rise, 1, 2, 3 stories at the most. Probably no elevator, and you can just walk straight up into them. You don't need to go into a lobby to get to the door.
Or just like little single family homes that are attached with the walls.
Well, those would be CPR homes and all of that.
Or an attached home.
Yeah, but it's a single family condo. But when we say condos and townhomes, those are going to be the high rises or the walk-ups.
The ones with the maintenance fees.
One with the maintenance fees.
That we talked about earlier. There's maintenance fees. They just
all right.
keep coming up.
And I want to give a big shout out to our president of the Honolulu Board of Realtors, Aaron Tengonan. Thank you so much for taking that role, because it's like it's a thankless job and it's a lot of work, and kudos to you for stepping up for that role. But there's a quote from Aaron: in 2025, Oahu's housing market was shaped by a combination of economic and financial and policy-related factors that influence how buyers and sellers approach the market. While overall activity remains steady, increased inventory, shifting costs, and broader uncertainty changed the pace and dynamics of transactions across both markets. Thank you, Aaron. He wrote that himself. He did not use ChatGPT. I spoke to him personally. He's brilliant and came up with that.
All right. Well, on that note, it's time to wrap things up. So
Okay.
thank you for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Bradley and of Allstate Insurance.
Kenji of Pillar to Post Home Inspections.
And John with Kilauea Pest Control.
Duke of Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Robinson with Fine Line Paintworks.
Amphi of the Estate Planning Group.
Jason Wu, attorney at law.
Rhino of Hawaii Unified.
Janice with Dreamhouse Drafting.
Fabio of Hawaii Water Damage Restoration.
Kyle with Impact Wealth.
Brian of Cleanscape.
Benji with Hawaii Referral Agent.
Danny of DHA Financial.
And Joseph with Keymasters Locksmiths of Hawaii.
And Christopher of Falcon Services.
If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Robin, our producer.
Chee-hoo.
Make sure to tune in next week, and we will have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life.
Forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed sold program.
If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price and our time frame, we'll have it bought for cash.
Thanks and aloha.